So today we're going to be going over 10 addicting, cozy, warm, and inviting fragrances for the cold weather. Really the idea behind this one is to choose some things that have a softer, more smooth, sweet scent profile, which works really well when it's cold outside. We got 10 fragrances here. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. So this first one, Armani Code Profumo. Now I know what you're thinking. This is a super loud fragrance. It's kind of one of those party monster fragrances, as people would like to call it. And sure, it definitely excels in that environment. However, if you tone back your sprays and do one of my favorite tricks, which is to apply it underneath the shirt like that, it really dials down the super strong projection. It dials down just the louder delivery that it may normally have, making it great for a more close encounter, warm, cozy environment. Most people don't think of this when they think of a cuddling fragrance, but it actually works really well if you just tame it back. Because it has tonka bean, it has vanilla, it has leather, it has nice, warm, well-rounded, smooth, sweet fragrance notes. It just is incredibly strong otherwise. But if you know how to use it, you know how to work it, you can have this one smell addicting and it'll work really great in close encounters. Armani Code Profumo. Next up, we have another fragrance that may seem obnoxious, but in reality, it also works really well. Phillipp Plein No Limits. Leather, dark chocolate, vanilla, and woody notes are some of the main notes. Now, looking at the bottle, you may think it's going to be kind of a junky fragrance. That's what I thought when I first saw this one pop up. I'm thinking, yeah, there's no way this is going to be any good. But when you look at the note breakdown, when you see that Alberto Marias created it, then you're like, okay, this actually may be really good. When you buy a bottle and you try it, then you're sold on it. That's what happened to me. I absolutely love how this smells. If you're into sweeter fragrances with a bit of leather, nice masculine touch, you're going to be all for this one here. Now it's got that nice chocolatey smell about it. The leather is in here, giving it kind of a masculine edge for sure. But this is another one where when you tone it back, you spray less of it, it actually works really well. And it has this kind of warming, inviting nature about it. This one's an eau de parfum. It's got great performance. It's got great quality, a very nice blend, and very unique. Now, it's not a cheapie. You have to pay up for this one a little bit, even on discounters, but in my opinion, it's worth it. And remember, in a situation like we're describing here, less is more. But I found that it just works really well for closer situations, for times where you want to be kind of appealing and inviting and warm and cozy smelling. Give this one some time to dry down. Don't go too heavy on the trigger, and you're going to be impressed. Next up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Only Absolute. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla are some of the main notes. This is another one that just has people captivated. You know, you get a smell of that cinnamon, nutmeg, kind of spicy combination, and then a whole bunch of sweetness like from the vanilla. It just comes across smelling super addicting, in a way kind of mysterious a little bit to some extent. Just kind of has this mysterious kind of masculine edge, but also with a softer side. That softer side being from the vanilla sweetness, just kind of giving off this cozy, welcoming type of smell. This one gets compared to things like Spice Bomb, Eau de Toilette, and there is a similarity. I find this one to be not as super sharp and spicy like Spice Bomb Eau de Toilette is. So overall, there is a little bit more of a smooth nature to this one, a little bit more of a sweet focus in here, making it great for this video. This is one that you can wear in the fall and winter time, wear it when it's cold outside, and it just has this kind of embodying warm attitude about it, which smells great. And also what's nice about this is it's affordable. Spice Bomb, even on discounters, is still up there in price. And again, that one's just a little bit of a different fragrance as well. This one typically is around $50. I think that's a pretty solid price point. It's a great pickup, good performer, good quality. It's from a great brand. All around a very nice scent. Next up, we have Amouage Boundless for men, which I believe is, their newest release. This one has bourbon, vanilla, tobacco, and myrrh as some of the main notes. If that note breakdown doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. Maybe my description will, so I'll try to describe it the best I can. Bourbon vanilla It's a bourbon vanilla. Like, it has a booziness. It smells great. It's apparent when you first spray it on. It's apparent in the dry down. It's a little bit of a syrupy sweetness. Immediately following that vanilla opening is the tobacco. It's a nice, mild red pipe tobacco. It's not necessarily too strong, making it like a fragrance that would be harder to pull off. It has a nice smooth quality to it. Think of Dolce & Gabbana the One, EDP, EDT, whatever you prefer, the tobacco in there. You know how that one is a great date fragrance. It's great for close encounters. People go crazy for it. It's kind of a similar type of tobacco used in here. Obviously, disclaimer that this does not smell anything like Dolce & Gabbana the One, but just comparing the tobaccos here and how it comes across, that's kind of how I look at it. So when you see fragrances like this in this video, and even some of the others, Profumo, Plein, No Limits, and you're thinking that they're just too crazy and strong for a close encounter, they're not super cozy and warm, I really disagree. I think that anything can be used in that type of way as long as you know how to use it and you limit your sprays and you approach it with an open mind. I mean, you look at the note breakdown of Dolce & Gabbana the One with the tobacco and the spicy notes, you may not initially think it's going to be, one of the best date fragrances ever, but look how it ended up. So don't be afraid to experiment a little bit with some fragrances in your collection that you may normally think wouldn't be that warm and cozy and inviting, because once you start using them, you're going to be hooked and you're going to be set apart from the crowd. Next up, we have Valentino Uomo Intense, my small little 50 ml bottle here. Vanilla, iris, and leather are some of the main notes. So it has a little bit of a powdery floral touch. The leather is not too strong. It's not too overboard in here. Primarily, it's the iris and the vanilla is what you get the most here. Gets compared to Dior Homme Intense, gets compared to Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum, and it is similar to both of those. But as per usual, this one does have its own characteristics here that make it a bit different than those other two. Primarily for me, it's the way the iris is compounded in this fragrance. It almost gives off a little bit more of a soapiness compared to the other two fragrances. So in a way, it's almost like off the top in the opening, there's a tiny bit more of a freshness. But then as it dries down, then it gets much more sweet and warm and inviting. This, for a while there, was making everyone's top 10 most complimented lists. It was making everyone's top 10 fall and winter videos. It was just making its rounds everywhere. People were going crazy over it. As per usual with trends, that started to die out and it doesn't get talked about as much. But at one point, it was on top of the game, which is really kind of what happens to almost every iris fragrance. I mean, Dior Homme, Prada L'Homme, even Gentleman Eau de Parfum, this one as well. When an iris fragrance is good and it's done right, it soars to the top of the charts, at least for a while. But yeah, great date night scent, great warm, cozy, and inviting fragrance. Smells incredible. Moving up next, we have a fragrance from Azzaro. Personally, I think one of their best pieces of work ever. This one is Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. Cinnamon, brandy, amber, and tonka bean are some of the main notes. I'll tell you, when it comes down to price, when it comes down to quality, even performance from a designer brand, this has to be just one of the best out there. Absolutely love it. I've said this before, but this is another one that some of my channel members have been really loving as well. They've been posting pictures of it as their scent of the day in the group chat, that sort of thing. So it's cool for me to see people who, get some sort of information out of my videos and they discover things because of me and then they're digging it. So I don't steer you guys in the wrong direction. I don't say I like things that I don't like. It's obviously all personal preference. What you like and what I may like may be different, but I always, am honest with you. If I think something smells great, I tell you. If I think something doesn't, I tell you. And that doesn't make it bad. It just means that I don't like it. So if you find that you have a similar taste with me and we like a lot of the similar things, it makes it a lot easier for you guys to be able to pick stuff up. So if you like warm, spicy, boozy fragrances, this one here is incredible. It's a little bit spicy from the cinnamon, that sort of thing, but the brandy, booziness comes through along with that tonka bean, the amber. It's sweet, it's sexy, it's warm. This is a great close encounter, date night fragrance, intimate fragrance, warm, cozy, inviting, all of that stuff. And it's not that expensive at all either. FragranceNet, I believe, is currently the hookup for this one right now. Make sure you check it out. Next up, we have Eros Flame by Versace. Orange, vanilla, and tonka bean are some of the main notes. So out of all of the Eros fragrances, I would say this one and probably the newest Parfum will be your two best choices for the situation described in this video, like a warm, cozy, inviting scent, like a date night scent for the cooler weather. Probably be this one and the Parfum. So take your pick. Parfum is more expensive, obviously, not discounted yet. Flame has been discounted for a while, so it is going to be much more affordable. With Flame, you get a bit more of a citrus opening. It opens up almost a bit more fresh, a bit more aromatic, but it still has a nice, sexy, addicting sweetness about it. I've got so many fragrances, so many scents that most people would say is 10 times better than any Eros fragrance yet. I still really like how this smells. And that means something. That means that I think they did a good job here with this one. And especially for a video like this, wanting something that is mass-pleasing and great for an evening or that sort of thing, Eros Flame works really well. Next up, we have Dolce & Gabbana Velvet Incenso. Incense, benzoin, and black pepper are just a few of the notes here. It's balsamic, it's sweet, it's rich, it's kind of resinous, smoky, spicy, a whole bunch of stuff going on here. And it smells just divine, absolutely incredible. So obviously this is going to be from their just more, I guess, premium line of fragrances. And so it's not one that will be as readily available as some of the others, but if you can find a bottle, it's definitely worth it. Almost has a little touch of a booziness up top. I don't know if it's from the benzoin in here, maybe a kind of a syrupy vanilla note as well, but I find it to be very complex. And even though it is very complex, it still has this warming, inviting sexiness about it. You could wear this on a date, you could wear this out in the evening, and it's just going to have you smelling addicting. The quality is great, the performance is really good as well. This is a top-notch scent if you're after something a bit more unique and different while still being super sexy. Running down to the end of this one here, up next we have Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Kilian, their newest release. So, it is no stranger that the original Apple Brandy is one of my absolute favorites from the brand. I love that stuff. It is a little bit more expensive, right? It's not cheap, and you can't really find it discounted all that often. So, it was nice that they came out with this because it makes it more obtainable, right? You know, it's comes in at a lower price point, and you're not sacrificing quality or even performance, really. You're just getting a different product, kind of like a different rendition on that original scent. Primarily with this one here, has a bit more of this fruitiness in the opening from this pineapple accord, makes it, I don't know, slightly more fresh, a little bit more vibrant and juicy. There's ambroxan being used in here, rum, that sort of thing. It just smells absolutely divine. You get some woods in here and it just smells like aged oak barrels that they were curing brandy in. It's really so photorealistic. To me, this is just one of their best pieces of work. I absolutely love this DNA. It smells fantastic, and with this line here, it's a lot more obtainable. It's an absolutely sexy fragrance that works great in an evening on a date. It's so addicting, it's so inviting, it's so cozy. This here is like a secret weapon. And last up for this video, Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Vanilla, benzoin, and ambroxan are some of the main notes. No stranger to the channel, one of the best budget vanilla fragrances on the market. Smells so good. Nice syrupy sweet vanilla, nice powdery dustiness from the benzoin, nice sparkling kind of fresh nature from the ambroxan. It's so well blended and it's done so well. The quality is great, the performance is great. This is another one that just has people coming back for more. Someone gets a sniff of this on you and they're like, oh, that smells good. They're going to keep thinking about it. And they're going to be like, you know what? I need to smell that again. They're going to be trying to plot a way to get closer to you so they can get another smell. It's just addicting. And like I said, if you're a vanilla lover and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, this one here is probably one of your best bets. Absolutely top notch. Alrighty guys, there you have it. That is 10 fragrances that are super addicting, warm, inviting, cozy, all of that stuff. Again, as I said in the beginning, you may not have expected to see some of these in here. My whole goal behind that is just for you to kind of experiment and try your own things. It's easy to get caught up in people saying, oh, this is a date fragrance. Oh, this is a club fragrance, and anything else, it's not going to work. That's not true. There's no instructions on any of these fragrances. There's no instructions on the box of Armani Co. Profumo saying that you can only wear it to parties and clubs and you can't wear it on a date. Guess what? I'm sure there are a lot of guys who only have this and they wear it on dates and they absolutely crush it. So go into it with an open mind. Don't be confined to the rules that people set. just have fun and experiment. You'll find that you might start to kind of enjoy the hobby a bit more when you're able to wear some stuff like this that you wouldn't normally wear in certain situations. I will provide links to all of these down below to discounters so you can check them out. With Twisted Lily for the Amouage, use my code CHAOS10 for 10% off. That code works site-wide. You can also become a channel member if you would like to. You can get access to these videos in advance, private group chat, vlogs, that sort of thing. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.